Start the recording and want to introduce, so welcome everyone to the PittNUG 15-minute webinar. Today's topic is preparing for 1099s in NetSuite. Our presenter today is Danielle Pistorius, and Danielle is a senior consultant at Grossman, Yannick and Ford. So Danielle, go ahead. The floor is yours. I'm going to go ahead and mute myself, but if you need anything, just shout out.
Okay, great. Thank you, Rhonda, so much. Hello, everyone. Happy Monday. I hope you had a wonderful weekend, and I'm sure everyone's in the preparation mode for the holidays. But a hot topic that'll be right around the corner is 1099 reporting. And making sure that your NetSuite environment is ready and set up for that. As Rhonda said, my name is Danielle Pistorius. I'm a senior consultant in our group. Where is me? Okay, so just to go over an agenda for today, I know we have 15 minutes together and then we'll open it up for some questions, but we're just going to go discuss an overview of 1099 management in NetSuite, vendor management, GL expense account setup management, the third-party providers that NetSuite partners with, along with the 1099 safe searches, and also including some references that you guys can leverage after the presentation. So just an overview. As of NetSuite's version of 18.2, NetSuite discontinued their 1099 reporting capability, and they do not support 1099 MISC form reporting directly out of NetSuite. However, what they do provide is customized safe searches to help you report your 1099 MISC and the NEC forms for the vendor payments to third-party providers. They also allow you to manage within your vendor master to keep track of the vendors that are 1099 eligible, their tax information, as well as coding specific GL accounts that are expense types to the specific 1099 MISC categories. So for setting up vendor management in NetSuite for 1099 contractors, on the vendor record itself, you can navigate to the financial subtab of the vendor record. And there is a specific area for tax information where you can flag a vendor as 1099 eligible, along with including their tax reference ID for the different clients or companies. Another thing that you'll want to make sure as you're going through this process and updating, your vendor master is making sure that the vendor's address has been completed and filled out, along with a phone number and an email address if applicable. What this will help you to do is whenever you are using those customized safe searches, they are going to be pulling information off of the vendor record itself. So it'll pull off the vendor's address along with their tax ID for all of the vendors that are flagged as 1099 eligible. And if you want to revisit that, if you have set up NetSuite many moons ago, or if you are new to NetSuite, there is within the vendor master, under the views, there is a vendor financial view that comes with standard NetSuite that will show you a list of the 1099 eligible contractors. We've also included a quick SuiteAnswer reference that goes through the setup of the vendor management as well. Another tool NetSuite has to offer for setting up for 1099 management in NetSuite is being able to assign a 1099 missed category to a GL account. So whenever you are setting up your chart of accounts or creating a new expense account in NetSuite, you'll notice if you do select the account type expense or other expense, there is going to be a field available for 1099 missed category. This is where you can select which box that the associated expenses would fall under. And this is really helpful from the standpoint of, any transaction vendor payment in NetSuite. Those safe searches, the custom searches will pull the particular dollar thresholds for that 1099 eligible contractor within those boxes. So it's just it's set up front, but once you have that set up, it will flow into the report and make it a lot easier whenever it comes time to you pulling your 1099s for reporting. So the 1099 missed categories, to view a list of them in NetSuite, and if you want to edit the threshold assigned, that is going to be under the setup accounting list area, and you can filter in the type for 1099 missed categories if you just want to see a list of the categories that NetSuite has applicable. Now you aren't able to add or delete any of the categories as they are the specific categories that are provided by the IRS for the filings, but you do have the ability to update the threshold to make that more applicable, for your reporting requirements. The next area I wanted to discuss, so once you have your vendors set up and your GL accounts coded, there are third-party providers that NetSuite has partnered with to assist with 1099 reporting capabilities. And they will help you once you download and have the reports saved and customize them. And then you will export them and upload your filings to the third-party provider that you're working with. And they will really do the management for you of helping you file your forms, assist with applicable state agencies, and then also sending copies to your recipients. So that's where that making sure that you have the correct information set up on the vendor record that will be pulled into your report that you will then import and upload to the third-party provider. So the three ones that NetSuite has recommended is Yearly, Track 1099s, and Sovos. So once you have decided the third-party provider that you would like to move forward or work with, there are 1099 safe searches to report vendor payments in NetSuite. So in order to get those safe searches, you will navigate to the Suite Bundler, search and install bundles. And if you type in the keyword search 1099 vendor payment reports and click search, it'll come up with a list of the third-party vendors and their bundles, their 1099 vendor payment reports. And they will include, I know Sovos is kind of broken out into two different bundles for the 1099 MISC and the 1099 NEC, but Yearly and Track 1099 also have both of the 1099 MISC and 1099 NEC reports. So once you have selected your third-party provider, you'll just click on that bundle and go to install it. And then once it is installed in your account, you'll be able to look within the global search or within report save searches for that particular report name. So you'll see these are just the components of the save searches that are included in those bundles. So the save searches are customizable. They provide a summary of the 1099 vendor payments for a specific date range. So usually for the fiscal year, you do have the ability to adjust that. You can edit the criteria as well as the results of the save search to meet your business requirements needs. An example would be more so like if you wanted to include payments made by check, you could replace the date close field with the date field, or so you can really work with it to modify it. It will come canned, and then there are kind of step-by-step instructions for updating those save searches for the information that you need. So the file format, whenever you do export it into CSV or Excel, those formats that they have are going to be acceptable by the third-party providers. So you won't have to make a ton of modifications, once you have it exported to import back into them. You are responsible, however, for the accuracy of the data you export and provide to the provider to report to the IRS. So you want to make sure that you have validated the payments and you are comfortable before you actually upload that to the third-party provider, as they will be sending out your the forms to the recipients. So the reports will include all of the vendor payments. You might want to perform specific filtering required for vendors that aren't meeting that minimum threshold if you don't have that already set on your 1099 categories for the specific GL accounts. And on here we included just some references for in NetSuite, different suite answer reference for just that follows through those third-party providers and just making sure how to set up your environment. We also included links to the 3 third-party providers that NetSuite partners with, Yearly, Track 1099, and Sovos, along with a link to the IRS for the 1099 MISC reporting requirements. Does anyone have any questions? I know we went through that pretty quickly, but
Anyone?
And if you don't have, go ahead. Yes.
No, I was just going to say, anyone have any questions? Usually the group is usually pretty quiet. We don't get too many questions, Danielle, but
okay. And if you don't feel comfortable or come up with a question whenever you're looking at it down the road, please feel free to reach out to us. We would be happy to assist you or provide our guidance or expertise in assisting with modifying safe searches if you need help, or just we're here to help. So if there's any questions that come up down the road, please don't hesitate to reach out.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a good point. Yeah, no, anyone just shoot me an email. I can get in touch with Danielle or anyone else from our group to answer questions. So I will post the presentation on PittNUG probably next week. Well, maybe this week. I'll try to do it this week. And then the presentation too, I'll send out with a follow-up at some point to our PittNUG members. So with that, last chance, I am going to end our 15-minute PittNUG meeting. So thank you, Danielle. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
All right,
Hope
everyone.
you guys have a wonderful holiday season.
Yep, happy holidays, and we will talk to you guys soon. I'm hoping anyway. Thanks. Bye, everyone. Have a good day.
Yeah.